What if the love of your life was gone forever, and you never told them how much they meant to you? That's the heartbreaking reality facing one of Hollywood's greatest icons, Al Pacino. At 85, the legendary actor has lived through decades of fame, fortune, and unforgettable roles. But behind all the Oscars, applause, and flashing cameras, there's one story he's tried to bury. The one woman he could never forget, Diane Keaton. And after her sudden passing at 79, Pacino's silence has finally broken. Sources close to him say he's haunted by a single thought: I should have married her. Because when Diane Keaton died, Al Pacino didn't just lose an ex. He lost the only woman he ever truly loved. But how did the golden couple of The Godfather go from Hollywood's most magnetic love story to decades of distance and regret? Let's rewind to where it all began. It's 1972. A young Al Pacino steps onto the set of The Godfather, shy, intense, and laser-focused on his craft. Across from him stands Diane Keaton, charming, quirky, unpredictable. The chemistry is instant, electric. Their characters, Michael and Kay, mirrored something real. Two people drawn together, but destined for heartbreak. Between takes, they'd talk for hours about art, about life, about everything and nothing. Castmates would later say you could feel the connection between them, even when the cameras stopped rolling. By 1974, that spark had turned into something real. Hollywood called them the perfect pair, the fiery Italian and the eccentric dreamer. They were opposites, yet somehow they made perfect sense. But behind the glamour, the laughter, and the red carpets, something darker was already brewing. Throughout the late 70s and 80s, their relationship became one of the most unpredictable in Hollywood. They'd fall in love, drift apart, and then find their way back again, over and over. Diane was ready for something deeper. She wanted stability, a home, maybe even marriage. Al was the opposite, terrified of commitment, addicted to his freedom, and consumed by his work. He once said in an interview, "Acting takes everything out of me. I don't have much left for anything else." And Diane? She was patient for years. But patience has a breaking point. Friends of the couple say Diane gave him every chance. She believed one day he'd finally choose her. Not the fame, not the spotlight, but her. But every time, he slipped away. Until one day she gave him a choice and changed their story forever. By 1990, their relationship had lasted nearly 2 decades of love, laughter, and heartbreak. Diane Keaton, exhausted from waiting, finally drew the line. She looked at Al Pacino, the man she'd adored for years, and said, "Marry me or it's over." Pacino froze. Marriage wasn't in his vocabulary. He couldn't do it. Not then, maybe not ever. And just like that, she walked away. No dramatic fight, no screaming match, just silence. Later, when friends asked why he never reached out again, Pacino reportedly said, "We said everything that needed to be said." But deep down, he knew he'd just lost the love of his life. He thought maybe one day, when they were older, they'd find their way back to each other. He'd tell friends, if it's meant to be, it's never too late for a do-over. But that do-over never came. After the breakup, both moved on, at least publicly. Diane poured herself into her career, becoming one of the most beloved actresses in Hollywood. She adopted 2 children in her 50s and built a quiet, beautiful life far away from the chaos of stardom. Pacino? He kept acting, kept chasing roles, and had children with other women. But he never married, not once. Ironically, they lived just a few streets apart in Beverly Hills, yet never spoke again. A friend once asked Al why. His reply was chilling. There's no need to talk with each other. We said everything that needed to be said. And still, his eyes told another story. In 2017, when Diane received the AFI Life Achievement Award, Pacino took the stage. His words trembled as he spoke. "You're an artist, Di. You're a great artist. I love you forever." The audience cheered, but those who knew him could see this wasn't just admiration. It was unfinished love. Fast forward to 2025, when news broke that Diane Keaton had passed away at her Los Angeles home, Hollywood fell silent. But no one felt it more deeply than Al Pacino. A close friend revealed to the Daily Mail that Pacino is devastated, haunted by regret. He reportedly said Diane was the love of my life, and he'll forever regret not marrying her. That's decades of success, power, and fame, yet none of it could replace what he lost. He used to tell friends, if it's meant to be, it's never too late. But now, it really is. Sometimes the greatest tragedy isn't losing someone, it's realizing you let them go. But Diane had her own version of the story. In a 2017 interview, she reflected on their relationship with grace and a hint of sadness. She admitted she'd loved Al deeply, but said it would have been a nightmare for both of us. She laughed softly, calling him charming, hilarious, even a lost orphan. And yet, she never stopped admiring him. She confessed that breaking up wasn't her choice, but maybe it was the right one. They were too similar, 2 creative souls chasing freedom, yet longing for connection. In her words, it was very important that we left each other alone and said goodbye. And that's what makes their story so haunting. 2 people who loved each other completely, but couldn't exist in the same orbit. Don't miss any of the most shocking celebrity stories. Like this video and subscribe to stay in the loop.